Yeah.
And also, like, I'll just tell you right now, the whales and krakens in like pre-soc are not the whales and krakens you deal with in the end game, right? You get
Oh,
you get
I'm
a
assuming that's
you get a lot of
yeah.
players on migrate back. You know, they, for lack of a better word, they just honestly they probably couldn't cut it in the end game, or they like to be the big dog, right? Because the power is disproportionate. So if you're a whale in the early game, you're going to be so much stronger than most players. Whereas when you get to the end game, right, and then you move up in competition, you're playing at an Imperium level, like a outside of early pre-K, outside of like actual end game Imperium, even like the biggest whale, I'm just like a nobody, right? But there was two of me and the biggest whale, and I have 12 marches, they have 7. My marches are going to win, right? So they can't even want, yeah, they can't even want me. And some of these guys are spending probably like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, right? So the game becomes
like insane.
Yeah. So like they're really good, right? In Sunset Canyon, I can't touch them. But like when you get to the end game, when everyone has T5, right? Like, okay, everyone, their equipment is up to a certain level, you're not going to be so much disproportionately stronger than someone else. So for you, this is even a thought I had in my mind before we started the call, right? You essentially, I like to call it like the hot girl syndrome. Okay. It's actually like, you know, no one's going to pity the hot girl that just kind of gets her way with whatever, but she actually doesn't have much of an opportunity to grow and develop, right? Just because a lot of times things are going to come easier, and she doesn't actually have to go through the struggles of not being hot, right? So a whale in this early game, this is very common, because right now you just march however many marches you have into a crowd, and you're tanking people like 1v5, 1v8, whatever. You'll come out, you'll trade like 3-1, 4-1, maybe even more positive, right? So where is the incentive to actually develop the skill to learn the intricacies of the game, right? And like none of that's going to be there.
I do get that. Yeah.
Okay, and I know this because I saw what the whales did, and I was like, man, these guys are badasses. Like, I want to do that, right? Like, I was a mid spender. I'm a mid spender. I'm not a whale. But then also that really is the dynamic in KVK 1 and even KVK 2. KVK 3 started kind of going away. When I got to KVK 3, you couldn't use in-game commanders yet. It was available in KVK 4. Okay, once the end-game commanders become available, a lot of these quote-unquote whales, were like the higher power players,
aren't as powerful.
They drop off dramatically, right? And then like I think in one of the videos I said, like, you know, there's like a time when you realize that your parents aren't the smartest people in the world. There was literally a point where I'm like, I just realized all these players that I thought were like really experienced and veterans and really good and whales, whatever, they're actually not that good. Now, don't get me wrong, there are players that are good, but for the most part, most of the whales and stuff that you were impressed by in the early game, you just realize like they're actually not they're not that good. And there are some really good, so I don't want to like discount like everyone, right? So for you, I'm planning a seed, right? Just like so, because this game, I want you to be able to enjoy being a whale in the early game. Okay, like like there's something like just throwing a bunch of money in the game and just feeling like a god, like running around the field, right? And like, and I totally get it, because if everyone's like, oh no, just save for SOC, save for FSOC, and you can't really fully enjoy like the fruits of, you know, the money and all the time you invested, like you can't enjoy being a proper whale in the early game. That also takes away from it. Okay, so the purpose of this call for me, one, I want to plant a seed, so you start kind of you're set up to know what to expect, and there's knowing what to expect, and then there's actually experiencing it, right? Like you literally have to experience it to really start be able to learn. So if I'm telling you about SOC and you never played it, right, you can think what it's like, you can, you know, but like you're not going to know until you actually get there, right? So I want to kind of set you up so for what to expect, you know, some of the stuff I talk about, I want you to understand why I'm presenting it to you this way. And then when the situation comes up, you can make a decision that's going to balance. How do you maximize your, how do you not maximize, how do you actually still really enjoy the game now and feel like you're progressing towards something? And I said this earlier, right? You seem to lead by emotions. So it's like, it's knowing how, okay, something just happens, say in Sunset Canyon, and you really want to beat this guy. You don't just go do something that really sets you back like 2 months.
You can't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. But
no,
like,
I definitely.
yeah. Okay, so you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so first thing is let's actually go. You have a crap load of gems. So right now, how many gold heads do you have?
Yeah. he and I oh I have
Okay. Like 300 or something, right?
I have 387.
Okay.
Right, like almost 400.
Okay, so that's actually a lot of gold heads to have still, even in the middle of KVK 1. And right now you have YSG expertise.
Yep.
Right.
And I got Richard expertise.
Okay.
My Martell is doing pretty well.
Okay.
And then is that it?
And then right now you have 5 sets of gear.
Yeah, just for Sunset. So
Okay.
I have like a leadership.
Okay.
With my fled.
Okay.
And then leadership, like mainly archers, because I run fled YSG.
Right.
And then I have 3 infantry and then 1 cav, which is here's what I'm really excited about. Look at this. Look at that bad boy. Expertise. The expertise.
Yeah.
I literally was so happy.
Okay. Yeah, you got a crit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you already have iconics on there. Okay, good. Okay, so
I don't have any more iconic crystals. I'm not gonna get any until KVK 2. But
yeah,
I used all of them.
Yeah, I mean it's like a one-off when it's not during KVK, when there's like an event where you can maybe like get 1. I think maybe even 2, if I remember correctly. But in KVK, at least in the end game, you get 5 per KVK. If you hit the achievement,
so you have enough to finish a march.
If you hit the achievement and stuff, yeah, it's like right now I think I have like. Personally, I have like 5, maybe 5 legendaries. I don't have iconics on them. We'll go over that later, but it's kind of balancing where if you look up how many YouTube videos or how often do you watch YouTube videos?
Dude, okay, literally like I'm gonna go on my YouTube right now.
Okay.
I feel like half of that will probably be like ROK, but I also watch a lot of like NBA and other YouTubers like poker and stuff. Okay, so
you're on YouTube a lot. Yeah. Okay, so you actually watch a lot of Rise of Kingdoms videos.
Dude, YouTube, I love YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So with the equipment, a lot of the guides you'll find, they were actually around before Iconics came around. Okay, so before
like outdated, probably.
They're slightly outdated because before Iconics came around, if you have like a crit purple versus a regular legendary, they're really close, right? So a lot of times it's not even worth it to upgrade it. But once Iconics came around, depending on which piece of equipment it is, if you put an Iconic on it, without it being special talented, it's noticeably better than the purple. Okay, so I sent you a video. I made that in January. At least the commander part, obviously that's really fluid, it changes, but the equipment still holds. Okay, and the armament for the most part still holds. You have to shift that up a few points now because Lilith is just releasing a lot more ways to get transmutation stones, so people in general have better armament sets than 2 months ago. Okay, but the equipment definitely still holds. And I'm going to go over like big picture general, and then we can talk about KVK 2 and then just some stuff you can do to prepare for KVK 3 and beyond.
The end game. Got you.
Okay.